Friends, if you are watching this video, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Please watch it till the end. Your one view means so much to me. Your subscribe helps strengthen my dreams. Your support is not just support. It's the feeling that someone truly stands with me. Please support my channel. Your love will always be remembered. The church bells rang in jubilant celebration, but inside, Amelia's heart thumped with a rhythm that didn't match the joy surrounding her. White lace clung to her trembling frame, and her bouquet felt heavier than it should have. Every smiling face, every whispered blessing, felt like chains tightening around her freedom. Her eyes darted to the stained glass windows, where the morning sun splashed colors across the polished floor. The colors called to her, vibrant and alive, everything she wasn't supposed to be. And then she saw him. Not a stranger, not someone she knew, but a fleeting thought of escape, of possibility, igniting within her chest. When the pastor asked, "Do you take him?" her voice caught. She couldn't say it. She couldn't lie to herself or to the world. And so, Amelia did the unthinkable. She ran. Out the side door, past the gaping gasps of guests, down the cobblestone streets, Amelia ran, her veil tangling around her arms, her heels clattering like a warning to anyone who might follow. She didn't know where she was going. Just away. Away from the suffocating expectations. Away from a life that was never truly hers. She didn't see him at first, until the hum of an engine broke the silence. A rugged pickup truck rolled to a stop beside her, its tires kicking up dust. The door swung open and a man stepped out. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with a face hardened by sun and work, but there was warmth in his gaze that made her pause. "Get in," he said simply. No questions, no judgments, just a promise that she could breathe. Somehow, without knowing why, Amelia climbed into the truck, leaving behind everything she'd been told to want. And in that instant, her new life began. He drove for hours, the landscape shifting from bustling town streets to quiet, winding roads framed by rolling hills. Amelia watched the trees blur past, her chest easing with every mile. She didn't even know his name, yet there was a security in his silence. Finally, the truck stopped in front of a modest cabin, surrounded by tall pines and the soft whisper of a river nearby. It wasn't grand or flashy, but as she stepped onto the wooden porch, she felt something she hadn't felt in years. Home. "I'm Jack," the man said, finally breaking the silence, his voice gravelly but kind. "You can stay here as long as you need." Amelia didn't respond at first. She only nodded, letting her fingers trace the worn railing. She didn't know if she could trust anyone again, but Jack's calm presence was a lifeline. Days turned into weeks. Amelia learned to cook over the old stove, to tend the small vegetable garden, to sleep without the weight of expectations pressing on her. Jack worked the land, fixing fences, tending animals, always nearby but never intrusive. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon in a cascade of oranges and purples, Jack handed her a mug of hot tea. "You're safe here," he said softly. "No one's going to tell you who to be." And for the first time in her life, Amelia believed it. Safety, however, had a way of bringing old fears to the surface. Amelia dreamed of her former life in flashes of regret and doubt. She imagined the wedding guests staring, her parents' disappointed faces, the life she'd abandoned. Jack noticed. "You don't have to talk," he said one morning as he repaired the fence. "But I'll listen if you do." And so she did. She poured out her fears, her anger, her shame. Words tumbled like rocks rolling down a mountain, heavy and unstoppable. Jack listened, never interrupting, never judging. He simply nodded, steady and solid, until the storm inside her calmed. "You're not running from anything," he said finally, "except what wasn't meant for you. And that's okay." The weight of the past began to lift, and with it came a new kind of courage. Amelia realized she hadn't just fled the altar, she'd chosen herself. And in Jack's quiet strength, she discovered something she hadn't thought possible. Trust, and maybe something deeper. Something like love, though she didn't dare name it yet. Winter melted into spring. The cabin, once a refuge, became a home. Jack and Amelia worked side by side, their laughter mixing with the sounds of birds and river currents. Life outside no longer held power over her. She was free to define her own happiness. One evening, as the golden sun poured through the pine trees, Jack reached for her hand. It was tentative at first, then firm, warm, grounding. "You belong here," he said simply. "With me. With this place. With yourself." Amelia's heart swelled. She realized that the man who had given her a home had also given her something else. A chance to love without fear, to heal without judgment. For the first time in years, she smiled without apology. "I do," she whispered, not to a crowd, not to a pastor, but to the man who had saved her life in the simplest, most profound way. And in the quiet sanctuary of their shared life, she finally understood. Fleeing wasn't running away, it was running toward the only place she truly belonged.